Today we'll be trying to get 3 wins with the Tri-Stringer, the flagship weapon, so to speak, of Splatoon 3. This is the Stringer class's longest range weapon, and it's kind of a middle of everything. You have 3 bolts per charge, and they will start out wide and then go in the middle. Of course, once you get them to a half charge, they will start having little explosives whenever they hit the ground, and you have a decently fast strafe speed. Of course, if you hit all 3 bullets at once they're fully charged, you'll get a 1-shot, which is nice. So it is really just kind of your middle of the road stringer. For your kit, you have Toxic Mist, which does help out when slowing enemies down, just trying to cover choke points or get them with your chip shots, as well as, of course, hitting 1-shots if you can do that. It's a bit expensive. I would maybe like a bit of a cheaper sub, but it's not the worst thing in the world. As for our special, we get the Killer Rail 5.1, which is actually really nice. On top of the mist being able to slow them down, you can use this to get even more damage on them, at the very least chip damage, if not actually killing them. And it actually combos with the main weapon pretty well because it has infinite range. It also helps out in team fights, where the main weapon also shines pretty nicely, being able to get chip damage for your teammates. So overall, it's a pretty synergistic kit, even if it's not the best one in the world. Either way, the goal is 3 wins, and if we get 3 in a row without any losses, we'll go for a 4th one. We'll see you in the first match. Alright, match number 1, looking at a bunch of short-ranged weapons, which is good for us. As long as we can get to a good vantage point, we can kind of just bully them with AoE shots and maybe try to snipe them. I don't expect to actually be hitting too many of the snipe shots. Most of the time, I'm more effective at just kind of mid-range and helping out in team fights whenever I get close enough. That's felt the most consistent. If we don't get anyone forward, then it's going to be more rough, but right now we're being scrappy, which is good. We want people to be forward and doing things so we can actually be effective with chip damage and not feel like a wet paper bag hitting things. Very weird start we're having here. We're down 3 people now, and I'm fixing to be down to the Zuka, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. Should be able to get our defense back up. We have somewhat okay defensive weapons. No shooters, which is interesting. Not the worst team in the world, just a lot of slower weapons, which is fine. I think we can handle that. I'm going to try to cut off this guy's path to my teammates. And maybe get him. There we go, good. Brush is over this way. He just runs straight to my shots, which is good. That 90 damage is really nice whenever someone's damaged from pretty much anything else in the game. It means they're going to be 1 shot. Go ahead and tag this guy. And they might be attacking from the left. Of course, we get tagged by Zuka. Nothing could really be done too quickly about that, other than the fact he was painting a bit, so I maybe could have inferred that he was going for shot, or Zuka. So I could have maybe been prepared for it, but I was not. I'm going to go ahead and start riding tower. I think they want me to do it since I'm the longer ranged weapon, so that's what I'll be trying to do here. Got a couple of people on the bottom, and my plan for that is hopefully to not die. We don't really have a lot of paint on the map. Just little splotches here and there, so I need to try to clean that up as well whenever I'm kind of having some downtime and I don't have things to shoot at. Brush is attacking, but I did scare him off with a couple of hits, which is good. I can find the brush, which he went pretty far back. I should have probably saved that for when more people are up, because that does help. Again, when you're fighting at longer ranges, you're getting chip damage from your shots, as well as the whale just kind of chipping people. Helps out a lot. We get a random kill, which is good. That's why we shoot off in random directions where we think people are at. That way we can get some damage off. Here comes Zuka. I'm going to get off the side of that because it looked like he was angling it towards it, and which he did on that last shot. Not sure if it would have killed me, but I didn't want to take that chance. Lots of bombs are going out too. I think they've got 3 splat bombs, or 2. Just 2. But they have a suction bomb too. Alright, got a friend in a rush. Not really doing too terribly. We're just kind of taking it slow, which is fine. Gonna pelt the field with a bunch of AoE shots here. That way they can't move around as easily. The best thing they can do is just start running in a field of explosions. That way they can't move around very much. And when we get our paint on the map too, it's also much easier to hit shots because they're not moving around as often. I find it more consistent to land shots with this weapon than Wellstring for some reason. It feels a lot more consequential if I actually hit shots with this weapon compared to the other one, because the other one is just kind of odd. I don't know what to say. Maybe I'm just not, or I wasn't in practice with it, but now I kind of am a little bit more. Got a bunch of assists there, and our teammate will push it to the goal. Very all over the place match, but we got the win. All right, match number 2. A bunch more short-range weapons. At the very least, half of the enemy team. The other half is more interesting. I think we still technically outranged the blob. However, it's very similar. So if we're like fighting on a straight plane, I do want to try to just keep backing up away from it. That way it's less effective, and I don't want to get anywhere near it if I'm against a bunch of walls. I'm going to try to help out and get my Squiffer some paint and just some explosions to maybe combo off of. Not that he really can combo if he's going for full charge shots. It is nice. I do like this map for bow specifically, just because I don't know how it is, but it's shaped nicely for the weapon itself. I'm going to try to cover my bases here, and if he tries to rush me, I'm fine. I think he's really just looking for an opening, which I'm fixing to give it to him if I'm not careful, and then I'm just going to go back to pelting the tower with shots, making sure they can't climb it. Cover up the paint here, and then move forward. And thankfully, since it's so open, you do have a better sightline of things compared to when, you know, it's normally closed off. However, you might not be able to cover choke points as easily. All right, cover this guy. He's going to start shooting at me, but I'm just going to try to move him around. I thought those went past me, but apparently they didn't. Lob is weird like that sometimes. All right, we're losing a lot of people. Our Stamper is actually far away from tower, so I'm going to just start pelting this. Saving their specials, good for them. We're going to try to get rid of the bubble first. I have a feeling he's going to... How do you climb that? I think you just have to ride tower there, so he might be going for the right side, but I'm going to shoot him off tower and just try to get some AoE on. He was just kind of waiting for his teammates. All right, cover this, and I probably could be trying to hit more pinpoint shots. In fact, I'm going to try to do that here, because that does group your explosions together a little more. It's just more of a thing whether or not you think you'd rather have the wide arcing shots or a more precision-based explosion. Because if they get hit by one of them, most likely they'll be hit by all three of them if you get them all together grouped up. All right, I'm going to try to annoy this guy. He's shooting at me, surprisingly. I guess not surprisingly, because I'm the only one with enough range to really challenge him. But he does outrange us, I believe. All right, only one left alive is the brush, so this is a bit risky. Not the brush, the roller. But I think he's maybe respawning. Either that or he's behind us. He's not behind us, though. All right. Yeah, okay, I could have helped my friend out a little more there. I wasn't really doing that too well. I've gotten a couple hits off on the guy on the right, but I'm not going to be able to close that kill. I'm going to try to trap the Hydra. Got a couple hits off. He's going to try to climb that, but I'll be able to maybe get him. They do recover if you hit very infrequently, so you can't always rely on pellet kills 100% of the time if you're not getting them off too quickly, because that charge time does kill a bit of your DPS. All right, I'm getting chip. I'm getting a lot of chip damage. It's just whether or not our teammates are going to combo with it or not. All right. I'm going to try to get a full charge here and just... I need to try to arc it up a little better. I'm not really doing that as much. It's easier to arc it the shorter your range is, but if you really want them all grouped together, then it's not going to go as well. All right, arc that over there. Trap him. Hopefully our teammate gets the shot. Very good. And I guess you'd rather have non-precision based teammates because they're going to combo a lot better if they're throwing out a bunch of chip damage as well. All right, there's the brush. I'm just going to cover that. Let my teammate have more space to fight him. And just try to cover the range in front of my teammate. That way they can't approach him as easily. I'm out of ink though, but I do need to refill. You will actually get well quite a bit, so... You can actually spam it for ink refills if you absolutely want to, and it will also help out in fights. I might be dead here. I'm not quite yet, but I'm still being very inconsistent without actually hitting stuff. He's still over here. Okay, there he is. I'm going to try to hit a middle shot. He's close. Very close. That should be it. Okay, good. Again, it's not great to assume you're going to get the kill because you might just end up not and then paying for it. I don't know who is up there, but... I think it's the Hydra. Good, we got an assist on him. And Hydras really don't like having the whale on them because they're just so much slower. I'm going to back up because that is a blaster. I'm going to back up really far because I do have the range to take advantage of that. Cover the distance from my teammate once more and just try to be annoying. You're going to ride on tower with Kraken. I guess he's defending his friend there. But it is going to waste his Kraken. That's a very early Kraken for how far back they were. Just kind of keep throwing it at this guy. Again, even if I'm not immediately getting damage, I am covering his feet, which is good. He runs off the map. That's great. I've got well to kind of stall tower now, which is good. Got 3 more seconds, and we are in the lead. I wasn't actually checking if we were. I thought we were, but it's actually a lot closer than I thought it was. So we'll still take the win, but still not particularly great play on my part. All right, match number 3. We have a weird assortment of weapons, 2 bows, and a heavy bowgun. Not a heavy bowgun. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter. Heavy splatling. It is a heavy weapon. So we're going to be maybe more defensive this time. Not necessarily all backliners, though they can play as backliners. They can also function a bit at mid-range. Probably wouldn't rather have 2 bows and would rather have something else. However, our chip damage will be very high if we can get our 52 gal in, because he'll combo off of those very nicely. Okay, hello there. Hello. It's a range, I think, so just kind of keep him back. Good. Have that guy over there. I kind of really like point sensor on this weapon. Mist is okay. It does slow them down, which makes it easier to hit shots, but it is very expensive, and having a less expensive sub-weapon you can use would actually be pretty nice. I don't know if he's coming after me, but I'm going to make a minefield for him to just kind of have to fight if he's dancing around on top of my teammate. However, they drop down, so we can't really help much more there. Just going to be annoying, honestly. Make sure they can't hide. Maybe clear a path for my short-range teammate here. That way he can maybe get a free shark kill or something like that. Should have... Okay, so I think jumping out there is better. I didn't notice the paint accumulating there, or I would have taken care of that. Just poor map awareness on my part, but we really do want something to be able to back up into. And granted, that entire place is more or less just a, what you call it, wall. It's just a corner. You don't want to be cornered with this weapon. It's just not a good weapon that can fight close up. You do want to have to get the one shot, and that's not the most reliable thing because shot velocity isn't near instant like chargers are. All right, got a couple there. Someone's on the right. I don't really like this position though. Yeah, I think this is where just having only one short-range weapon that can be fast is gonna not help us as much. I'm gonna just try to pelt tower here. He's probably gonna wait for his teammate, so I do need to try to get some paint forward for them. That way it's gonna be harder for them, because once we get map control, they're gonna have a bit harder over time. And I'm not a big fan of having to fight missiles constantly because of that. We were all cornered over there. I guess I could have went to the right, but we didn't have a lot of paint. I guess that's what I'm gonna do, because we are struggling with paint a bit. It's not the best painting weapon, but it can get the job done if you absolutely have to. It's not like something incredibly slow or anything like that. And you have a bit of range on your shots too to paint, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and use this so I don't waste the paint that we do have to get. And I can just go back to immediately painting for more specials. We are in the lead though, which is good. I'm gonna try to cover this over here. And again, once we have that paint control, it's gonna be a lot easier to hit shots. I'm going to cover the ground here in case he jumps. You want to be a little predictive if you do want to hit those chip shots. But it can actually be really nice whenever they are distracted. So even if you're not being as predictive and more reactive to it. All right, we got someone with the well. That's nice. I'm just backing up again. I hope I don't trick you into walking into them, because that's not great. We're down to 28, which is good. As long as we keep our defensive stats up, it's going to be pretty nice to just kind of keep them off of us. And of course, I can just kind of pepper the lane with shots, make sure they can't fight as easily. No one's on the right, so I'm going to push forward now. Get some paint over here. Have our well. And that's just kind of the cycle. You get your well, you use it, you try to be aggressive with it, and then you kind of back up and just start taking a little more defensive shots. It's not always the most consistent thing, and of course, if I were landing more one-shots, that would be better. But I tend to get in a charger mindset where I have to flick, and you don't have to do that with this weapon because you don't have the, what's it called? The laser. You don't have a laser, so yes, you do have a light. You have to be careful, and we have to be careful here because we lost 3 people. I didn't notice the blaster, and since they have 2 blasters, it's a bit hard to figure out immediately which one it is because they have similar color schemes in the moment. Like, if you don't figure it out from the first shot, it's going to be very hard to figure out whether or not we want to back up. A little unfortunate that I got hit by that. It's okay, though. Just kind of bothering our teammates here, so I might want to take a better angle. I think they've got him, though. He's cornered. He's now down. I want to get back up here, I think, and start... I'm not really getting great vantage positions here. Alright, here's our wonderful, wonderful 10 of missiles. But we don't have to do those for a bit now. Alright, back up completely. Yeah, I don't really want to fight him because he doesn't have to aim as much as I do when fighting. He is slower and has shorter range, but I still have to be careful. Again, I'm losing close-up fights. I can do better with them, but it's better if I take them around teammates. Again, this was just a weird match because of our team layout. I probably could have gotten into better positions where I could have comboed off of our teammates a little more because it wasn't completely terrible, but I guess we're just not going to play too well today. All right, we got 3 matches without any losses, so we'll go for a 4th one. Current team is, you know, kind of the same as the last few, not really any long-range opponents. Longest range one is the Stamper, which is still shorter range than us. However, we didn't play too well against the one in the last match, so I do maybe want to just try to dive in with my teammates and make sure he can't get to me by myself. Lost one here. I'm going to back up now and cover this so he can't attack me immediately and then move back in. And it is easy to overshoot. Unfortunately, the crab was just there, so the bomb did get me, and that's not great because I had my special. However, I can't be immediately aware of that. It is not smart to play close to your crab, especially if the other team has a lot of bombs on their weapons, particularly. I'm going to spam paint here. And watch this right side. Make sure they can't get too close. I'm going to use this. I think there's someone on the left now. He's getting closer, so I do want to make sure nothing's happening. Nothing really did happen there. All right, is that a junior? I need to heal. It's not a junior, but he does have a sub-saver main, so that might start to get annoying because he's using them a lot. So we'll just try to do the same things he's doing, but with our main weapon. I'm going to start charging a little more now, making sure our shots are a little more lethal and getting that little bit of extra range. I think he was just standing there. It's kind of what it looked like. He may have been charging. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. Cover this right side. That way he can't move. And just area denial. It's very similar to Wellstring, just you have less immediate, or you have more immediate pressure, but less chip damage pressure. However, I do still like to use it for chip damage. I don't know if each shot does more chip damage. I don't think it does. I think it does the same as Wellstring fully charged. So it's not that. It just feels more consistent hit. I guess that's just because you have more range on it. All right, back up here. Stay away from the crab. Cover this up here. I think someone's either behind us or down there, so I'm going to cover my friend. Very good. Got that covered. I'm going to cover the root up there. Got to be very careful here, but he is putting himself in some bad situations to actually attack me, so that's great. Go ahead and pop this. And as long as he's down, we can keep a safe distance and just help our closer range teammates fight the shorter ranged enemies. And I don't have to worry too much about getting stumped by the Stamper. All right, crab again. Just stay away from it. I'm going to cover his front. That way they can't rush him. Not that that's particularly a smart decision to rush a crab while it's in full fire mode, but it is something people do sometimes. All right, almost there. Maybe get him. He's got some damage on him, but he's going to heal that off immediately. Ow, ow, ow. Stay down here. All right, good job, friend. We get the assist because we tagged him with a toxic miss, so I guess that's nice. It didn't really slow him down or anything. All right, this is where we're just trying to get some chip damage off. Probably should have went to the left, but I was a little afraid. I could have also dropped to the right and jumped out. I was probably just going to end up jumping out anyways. They're starting to be a little more aggressive, which is probably what they have to be here. So we're going to just play it safe, wait for the crab to wear off. Friend's getting some fire on him, so I'm going to just try to cover the area that the Stamper can move in. Again, we're not getting too many direct shots, and I just completely forgot about range there and got way too close to the closer ranged weapons. I thought there wasn't anyone there, but there were more than that many people up that we killed. So I should have just assumed there were people up and not ran like that. We're going to actually do some short range shots here and try to get rid of the Stamper. Stamper is the scariest thing currently. All right, he's down. We get someone else down. I believe the end's up, so that's good. Nice revenge kill. Got the one guy, hit him with 2 shots. I'm just going to throw that there so he can't push up as easily. We don't really have a lot of paint on this right side, so I'm going to go ahead and just try to take that. And if I get some free chip damage, that's perfectly fine. I believe there's someone up there. Check the map. I actually don't see him anymore, so they could either be flanking or they jumped out or something like that. Just try to be annoying like this. Again, I'm not going for complete accuracy, just making sure that little bits of damage help out our teammates and get the kills for them. Didn't even see that bomb until I actually got killed by it. Rolled right in front of me and then right behind me. But this is just showing that bombs aren't always the most useful thing. They are tools to get rid of the longer range opponents, which might be what he's focusing on. Either that or he's just spamming bombs, which isn't really doing too much for his team. All right. We'll watch this right side because they're probably going to rush here. They can't really approach on the left side too easily because of the grates. And while that would handle me easier if I'm not hitting direct shots, that's not going to help out when fighting our teammates. I'm just going to start covering the tower with their bullets, and we'll take a 4th win. Not too terrible of a game series, honestly. And there's 3 wins with the Tri-Stringer. Again, not a terrible series of games. I didn't play the best, but the weapon gives you some leeway to where you don't actually have to play too amazingly. Just as long as you're being annoying with that damage and the just area denial of the weapon. Again, even if it's not as strong as an aerial denial weapon as the Wellstring, that extra range and just the more precision that you get does make it feel honestly nicer to play. Now, I'm sure that's just a preference thing, but I do like at the very least being able to hit somewhat consistent shots with that middle shot. And again, that extra range really helps out, keeps you safer, lets you get more specials and stuff like that without having to immediately put yourself in danger. And you're not scrapping immediately with people that are going to definitely outpace you with the fire rate department. Either way, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please consider leaving a comment below and maybe even consider subscribing. Until next time, bye.